Jarrell Correll Jr. Was a petty officer first class when I left the Navy. Decided to join the Navy out of high school. I lived in Illinois, and the only thing to do there was pump gas and plow fields. So I decided that I was going to join the Navy after consultation with a number of family members who served in various services. I had an uncle who was a gunner's mate on a battleship. So I decided to join the Navy. I joined early as part of the Navy's delayed entry program. So I actually joined before I started high school, my senior year of high school. So I was actually almost a year in active reserves prior to entering active service. Entered the active service in August of '77, which is a very vivid memory because I was inducted into the AFI station in St. Louis, Missouri. And on taking a train to the recruit training command in Great Lakes, that's when we found out that Elvis Presley had passed away. So that's a vivid memory for me. So I went to boot camp at Great Lakes. Oh, basic training, that was a shock. And I think a lot of guys go through that. And it's like 180 degrees out from what you're used to being at home. I mean, I remember getting off the train, because I had to take the train from the Armed Forces Entrance and Examination Station in St. Louis up to Great Lakes. You get off that train early in the morning and you got people yelling at you and you have to go do this, that, and the other thing. And it's complete orders from then on for the next 13 weeks. You know, I think it was 13 weeks for me. So you're just not used to that. And it's kind of a culture shock, but it's needed because you're being, I guess, you know, you're learning, you know, how to take orders and how to work as groups and, you know, the command structure and all that kind of stuff. But to me, it was a shock. There were some people who just couldn't cut it. We actually had some people leave, not just in my company. I was company 250 at the time. We had a great company commander. He was actually pretty good. He wasn't a real, you know, hard case. We had what they call blue roper, which was his assistant, which was somebody who came back from the fleet. He was. But I remember our first day. I mean, we only were in the rack maybe or asleep for a couple hours, and that the blue roper coming in, banging the trash cans, waking us up, putting us in shock. You go get your hair cut, that head shaved that day, and all that stuff, and get your uniforms measured for your blues your dress blues when you get out, which did not fit me at all because I didn't eat while I went in at 200 and, I'm trying to think, 5 pounds, came out of boot camp at 170. Did not want to, I mean, first off, we didn't have a lot of time to eat, and you had to get in and get out, and sometimes it's like, okay, I'm just not interested, so, you know, that good old Navy chow. So, I was actually, during, I forget what they call it, so you actually have to go work. There's a week where you are assigned duties, either KP somewhere or whatever. I was actually assigned as the messenger for the officer of discipline and instruction. I forget his rank. One of the duties was to play Morning Colors. It was a reel-to-reel tape. And I had gone, and it took time to warm up, so I had gone on a message run. And I was late getting back, so I had like 2 minutes to play this thing, and I was so afraid I was going to get thrown into what they call extra military instruction. And I was like a minute late, and I could see him sitting there, and the reel was in his office, so I could see him sitting there looking at his watch, but luckily I turned it on, it played, the colors was done, the flag was raised, and he didn't say a word about it. But I was so, like I said, you know, it's kind of a culture shock because you have this whole command structure now you got to deal with, and you know, it just seemed like people were yelling at you constantly, and you were so afraid to do something wrong. We were actually what they call color company during boot camp. The number of companies that come through at the same time, you compete for points, and you earn flags for doing certain things. Well, we were color company that year, and basically we earned more than anybody else, and we're given that distinction upon graduation. So, yeah, boot camp was a total shock. We were glad to get out of it, but once you get out of boot camp, you know, it's totally different.